So today let's talk about Girls' Night Out, also known as The Scare Maker, which came out in 1982. I recently got the air release of it, which I really like this artwork. This is really great. I had never seen this before. It was an obvious blind buy. And I was interested to see this one because I really just enjoy 80s slashers. Like I said, this is one of my absolute favorites. In terms of genre, horror subgenre, that's my favorite by far. I can watch pretty much any horror, but I really think that slashers, no matter how bad they get or how cliched they get, I can watch basically most slashers. There are some where I can't stand, but for the most part, I can watch most of them despite how bad they get. But like I said, Girls' Night Out from 1982. This one, it's weird looking at it because I think overall I'd say I liked it. I did enjoy it, but it really, I won't spoil it now. I'll spoil it later in the video, but the ending of the movie I thought made it. But the rest of the movie was fine. It just wasn't anything memorable at all in terms of like the cliches you get from all these slashers, because there's so many slashers, especially in the 1980s. Like I said, after Friday the 13th and Halloween, Friday the 13th kind of kicked off the slasher craze, where it became 5 slasher movies a day, like 5 slasher movies a week in the theater kind of thing, which I wish I could have been alive for. That would have been awesome. But yeah, it starts out, it opens up in a sanitarium, which of course, obviously Halloween. And the person just randomly hangs themselves. Like, it starts with the person getting hung or committing suicide. And then it cuts away to this New York area where these girls are having this scavenger hunt. And then there's a killer that is chasing them. And that's the basic plot of this. Like I said, movies are not very, they aren't very story driven, of course. This one is not really at all. The ending does have a little bit of story to it, but besides that, it's really just a lot of these characters screw around and then they get killed. Or they just say silly jokes and they get killed. And I'm fine with that for the most part. This one is definitely not the worst I've seen. Really, definitely not even close. I thought that this one was totally serviceable. In terms of its cliches for the slasher genre. It has Hal Holbrook and David Holbrook, which is cool. Hal Holbrook is great. I actually like him in this movie a lot. I thought he was really solid. He made this character interesting as a security guard cop at this school. I thought that was interesting, and I thought he doesn't have much to give in terms of like depth, because of course this movie is not trying to be that. It's trying to be just a slasher. But I think that he makes the movie a little bit more memorable in that way. And I like how, again, this is clicheing on other slashers, but this did something where I think Nightmare on Elm Street might have ripped off, which is funny because I didn't expect this movie to have the same similarity. But the mental institution that Dickie, the killer, was at is in Weston Hills. And Weston Hills is the name of the mental hospital in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. So that's interesting. I know it could just be a coincidence. Maybe they didn't even watch this movie. Wes Craven maybe he probably would have seen Girls' Night Out, I guess, if he liked slashers, because he made a good amount. But I just thought it was funny to see that it was called Weston Hills, just like Nightmare on Elm Street. Also, this movie will make you just hum "Yummy, yummy, yummy, I've got love in my tummy." That little jingle, because that's played a lot in the movie. I don't know why, but that makes it kind of more memorable, because I remember how silly that song is and how it's played in the movie a lot. Like, I just thought that was interesting. Also, there's some scenes in the movie that remind me of New Year's Evil, which came out in 1980, 2 years before this one was released. I don't know when this was filmed. I'm assuming it was filmed close to 1982, but there's sometimes these slashers are filmed way early and then they were brought later because the slasher craze became big. But this one had a similarity to New Year's Evil, where the Hal Holbrook is hearing the calls of the killer, and the killer said, "Oh, I just killed this person, and now I'm going to do it again," kind of thing. And that's what they did in New Year's Evil, where in New Year's Evil, the killer would kill off a person every hour of New Year's Eve, and he would tell the person how he did it and all that on the phone. And I thought that was interesting, seeing that similarity. because this movie came out after that, I'm assuming. Like I said, I don't know if it's filmed in 1982 because, like I said, there's a lot of ones that do this. Like the Final Terror was one of those slashers that was like released in 1983, but I think it was filmed in like 79 or something like that. So this could be one of those similarities where like it was filmed way earlier, but I don't know. I don't know which one came out first, technically, this or New Year's Evil, like the ideas. But that was similar with New Year's Evil. The killer wears this bear outfit, which is just crossed eyes. And you can see part of it on here. And it's a silly outfit. It really is. It doesn't really look that interesting. Like it does have a slight memorability to it because I don't see a lot of slashers with a killer in a bear suit. Not that many that I've seen anyway, so I don't really think I've seen anything with a bear suit. Yeah, like as the killer is in a bear suit, I don't think I've seen. But I liked that. The guy in the bear outfit also has Wolverine claws, like this, you see right there. But the thing about this movie is, with that kill and with all the other kills, you really don't see the kills in this movie. This movie is really, really bare bones. It doesn't have any really good kill effects. A lot of it's off screen, or it's so easy not to see. Like, for example, whenever the killer throws a weapon down at somebody, I think it's just a knife, and the person, you just see their hand on their chest already and it's bleeding, and you don't see the impact. And this is just one of those slashers that was so low budget that I guess you didn't get to see that. And it's kind of unfortunate because this one might have added a little more to it if I could see the gory kills, because those are what make these movies fun. But also, you could argue that sometimes not seeing gore makes it scarier, and I thought that it was just interesting seeing that like blood was splattering whenever you didn't see anything actually physically happen. That makes it creepy in the long run as well. And now I'm going to get to the ending, and this is where the spoilers start. So don't watch this after this part. Come back, watch the movie, come back and see the rest of this review. But if you are interested, but the ending of this movie reveals that the killer at the beginning actually killed himself, and then the sister of the killer is killing off people, and she's going crazy and thinking that he's still alive, and she's got his body all iced over and got him stuck in a freezer, and he has been dead the whole time, but she acts like he's alive. And I thought that was a cool twist. I actually dug that. I thought that was fun. I did really think that was interesting. I did like that, and I liked how it ended on a really creepy image of just the dead body frozen, just staring into the camera, and then it closes, and it's in pure darkness besides the dead person, the dead killer. I think that's great, and I think that was a really cool reveal, just giving the fact to not know what really was happening throughout the whole movie, and it makes you look at the movie a little differently with the ending, even though, again, it's just kind of a typical slasher. Not very gory. I also forgot to mention it had Laura Marie Taylor in it, which I thought was great. Seeing her from Friday the 13th Part 2. I don't know if she's done any other slashers, but it's cool to see because I didn't know she was in this movie, and I was genuinely happy whenever I saw her name on the credits. But that's awesome. I enjoyed that as well. So if I really had to give my honest opinion on this, is that it's totally okay for me personally. I thought it wasn't great. It wasn't terrible in terms of entertainment value. Like, I thought I found it somewhat entertaining. The ending was good. It made the movie. I thought Hal Holbrook was good. I thought the performances were fine. It's just a lot of cliches that kind of make it more forgettable than like the bigger ones, if that makes sense. But I mean, you got to pick and choose. There's so many slashers that I've seen that it's like, how do I really like to watch some of these that are just so incredibly cliched? This one is, and the ending really made me remember it more, and Hal Holbrook in it. So besides that, it's totally serviceable. Not the best, not the worst. Yeah, really enjoyed Girls' Night Out. I thought it was fun. I really like the Arrow release. I'm definitely going to watch the special features, but really awesome. Definitely recommend it. And that's it for today. I'll see you guys later. Take care.